morning, guys. The COT data video will begin on the 12th of January 2026. We have to remember there's a ton of geopolitical risk going on in the world right now. There's almost too much to count on one hand. You've got the Iranian regime change and US British follow up. So we've got to be careful there. And we've got the Venezuela thing and US troops in Mexico. And you've got Ukraine, Russia as well. And that might be coming to an end, but we saw on the news that Russia deployed a hypersonic missile in Ukraine. So that doesn't look like it's going to come to an end. I believe that we were at the 11th hour of peace negotiations, but if Russia are going to launch these missiles, it doesn't look good for peace. So we've got a load of stuff going on. We've got the Israel potential strikes against Iran as well. So we've got to bear that in mind. So we should see safe haven flows. We'll come to the Discord to get your COT file. So you're going to download that. Remember, you need to unblock it. If you don't unblock it, you'll just get like security warnings. And you want to unblock it, okay? So you need to right click the file and then you go to properties, unblock, okay? So come to the sheet. And we can see there wasn't that much movement. Dollar CAD potential, which kind of makes sense because the dollar would be like a safe haven in speech marks against the CAD. And we saw also Aussie Swiss with a positive score. So really dollar CAD, Aussie Swiss, as everything else, there's not much really. The Euro USD dropped in some points and the price performance reflected that. You can see, we had a drop in the QDB scores, negative price performance. So, so maybe keep an eye on dollar CAD, Aussie Swiss, maybe Euro USD. We'll have to just have a look at the COT data, see if that ties in, because we know that the euro has been absolutely pumping. So you're going to enable the content, come to the chart page, and we did tick higher slightly. It wasn't a massive pump, but we have moved higher. So let's go to move chart. New sheet, net non-cons. And so we went from 157 to 162. So it's an increase. We are more positive than the week prior. However, we did see that decline in the euro. And don't forget, this is from Tuesday. It's worth noting that this COT data is only available from Tuesday night. And we don't have visibility of bank positions Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Obviously, things have changed since, and the NFP is now resulting in, I think, a 2% probability of a rate cut this month. It went from 11% probability, so it's a tiny percentage, a tiny chance, to nearly a 0% chance at 2%. So that's moved the dollar on Friday. Okay, so this may, or this probably should be just moving down slightly, okay? Because remember, this isn't from Friday, this is from Tuesday, okay? So let's add yen, and then we can see the dollar is it's just going sideways. It's a little bit like a snake ready to pounce, I think. And so look at yen, and we'll keep yen on, like we always do, and we have moved slightly lower. We are positive, but we're just more negative than the week prior, 14,000 to 8,000. So we may continue lower. We have to wait and see. So there's obviously the euro yen trade there, that crossover there, and we get the crossover here. We're going to get a UJ trade, and it'll be a UJ long if those two cross over. Okay. So that's that. It's slightly bearish, but we are above zero. But I can probably see it go below zero, to be honest with you. It's almost as though if you don't know what to trade, if you look at it from a big bank perspective, yen weakness is like almost a certainty. It's almost like the currency with least resistance. If you were going to trade a currency, it doesn't give too much resistance away, and you can trade it, and it's fairly easy. So it might be the case selling yen is going to be like the trade, because it doesn't pose any resistance, and it's also well supported. Looking at cross yen as well, so that may well go lower. To be a little bit boring, but it is what it is. euro off, Aussie on, and slightly higher, just slightly higher, isn't it? Can't really show you. 21 to 18. So we may gravitate higher. It looks like we are, aren't we? Just that's certainly a big pump. So we'll have to wait and see for that one. Aussie off, pound on. Pound's got some risks now with the elections that are coming up because we're going to get a new government in the UK. It's almost like certain. And so with the new government, we're going to get new uncertainty, especially around like fiscal policy and things like that. And so we may see this go lower over time, but it's probably going to follow the euro, to be honest with you. So it's kind of doing what Aussie's doing. We're just like, we were negative, we're below the zero, but we're just creeping towards the zero line. So that's the British pound. But I think those risks are probably going to be too strong for more upside, but we'll have to wait and see. CAD on, big pump, and we're just literally sideways. We are just absolutely sideways. Yeah, so that's that. So nothing to be said there. It may continue higher. Gold, we've come down slightly, 227 to 240. But we are massively positive, and any dips are probably going to be buying opportunities. So just wait for this to tick higher, then you can join the big fish. I don't know if you want to be buying at all-time highs, but you just have to be careful. Gold off, and then we'll look at New Zealand dollar and then Swiss franc, and we'll wrap up the video. We're just range bound on this. Okay, we're still within that high and that low. We have been since 2024. We're just range bound, so probably more sideways chop on that. And we're going to have the same with the Swiss franc, and that's going to wrap up the video there. Perhaps we can just quickly look at the bubbles just to see how they are, and it will tell us how the herd are positioned for the week ahead. So yen weakness, Aussie strength. So bearing in mind the strong fundamental risk off that we probably should be having because of that geopolitical risk, you may not want to trade that combination, but it may pan out because if the herd are massively bearish, indices are probably going to go higher, aren't they? So Aussie yen long would make sense, but it would be a little bit counterintuitive if we look at the fundamentals. So got to be careful. Pound, Swiss, euro, and dollar are buys. Gold, CAD, Kiwi, yen are sells. But remember what I was saying about gold. When central banks are buying, you'd want to not really reverse those guys. They're like big pockets. And Poland actually increased 2 extra tons of gold in their treasury. So that's 2 tons of gold that they've bought. So even though it's a sell, you'd want to be careful and definitely check other things, especially the macro fundamentals. So that's the COT data video. We'll have to see how we go. We probably should be going risk off, but we'll have to wait and see. And just remember to trade safely and know your exits as well. I'm also around if you need help as well. So if you've got any questions or anything like that, just let me know.